of the top comments I've seen across my videos is, I don't care about Apple Vision Pro, or I'm sick of hearing about Vision Pro, and this thing is not the future, and Greg, you're handsome. Sorry, I don't know how that last one got in there. It must have just snuck in there. But yes, it seems there's a lot of hate going around about the Apple Vision Pro. And while I'm definitely going to, rebuke some of your takes, I can kind of understand why so many people are just upset about the very existence of this product. And I think that really does all start with its price. Yeah, big shocker, right? This headset is $3,500 for the base model, and we don't even know yet if there's going to be a more expensive version of this headset. Sure, Apple has been known to make some expensive products, and the Vision Pro isn't really even on the top of their list when it comes to their most expensive products ever, but as a device that came after the wildly successful launches of the iPod, the iPhone, and the iPad, the $3,000 price tag seems like an absolute shocker when it comes to a personal computing device, especially when the rumors about this device months ago were preparing us for a $3,000 sticker shock. For Apple to then come out of nowhere and basically go, hey, your rumors are wrong, it's not $3,000, it's actually $3,500, $500 more than the rumored price point? Yeah, that clearly sent shockwaves through the audience.
Pro starts at $34.99.
So yeah, whether you agree with the price after seeing the tech inside, I'm sure there's very few of you that can actually deny that you were shocked by the price announcement that Apple set, right? $3,500, it's a lot of money. Like, we've just gotten used to the idea of $1,000 smartphones, and now you want us to spend $3,500 on a headset? Yeah, you know what, maybe I'm with you. This is a classic example of an overpriced Apple product. Okay, well, not necessarily. I think it's easy to think at first, but when Apple explained all the technology that was going into this device, like dual 4K OLED displays with 23 million pixels in total, running at a max of 96 Hertz with a total of 12 cameras, with dedicated cameras that literally track your hand movements for control input, rather than relying on separate controllers, and complete with eye tracking so precise that you can actually select an app just by looking at it, and then complete with an optic eye sensor for securely unlocking the device, and then 5 other sensors around the headset, and then 6 microphones with spatial audio speaker pods. All of this being processed by its own dedicated R1 chip, not to mention that this thing is literally being powered by an M2 chip, meaning this headset has the full power of a Mac. Yeah, a Mac computer literally strapped to your head. I mean, the Vision Pro literally has a secondary outward display just to show non-users a synthesized version of your eyes. This thing not only looks premium, but the tech inside makes it actually seem like the price just isn't the usual Apple tax at work. There's no other consumer headset on the market right now with this level of advanced technology. But hey, all that technology isn't actually going to be useful for you if you don't see a need for the headset itself. And I think this is the most common reason why the mass audience generally tends to shy away from new technology. And it makes total sense. Think about it. You've gone through your entire life completely fine up until this point without the need for some kind of spatial computing headset strapped to your head. And even if you can see that this is a technological marvel, your initial instinct is to rightly say, well, I don't need this device, and I don't see a use for it right now. And that's a perfectly fine response to have, but it's also not an uncommon one, and we don't have to look too far back to see that we've been here before. It's hard to believe with the success of the iPhone, but even when it was announced in 2007, it had its doubters. There were a myriad of complaints from tech publications saying that users didn't want an all-in-one device for a cell phone and an MP3 player, or that the iPhone lacked necessary features like a physical keyboard, or that the battery life was too poor compared to the dumb cell phones everyone was carrying at the time. And then the common argument of the iPhone was too expensive. Where have we heard that one before? And of course, you had that classic consumer backlash of people saying that magical phrase, I don't need an iPhone, or rather, I don't need any smartphone. I remember hearing that all the time. I'm pretty sure everyone at my family at one point uttered the words, I don't need an iPhone, and now a lot of those same family members are kind of glued to theirs. Like, we can't deny that the iPhone saw a lot of success and that initially people weren't all too gung-ho about carrying a smartphone in their pocket where they could access like the internet all the time. Like they were like, oh, I just go on my computer to get the internet, right? Like I think a lot of people remember those times. Maybe you don't if you're younger. And yeah, we can just kind of see the parallels here, right? Over and over again. Products like the iPad, the Apple Watch. Heck, even a more recent example would be the AirPods. When those launched, I remember people saying, these things look stupid. They only have 5 hours of battery life. And again, that classic phrase of, I don't need them. I already have wired headphones. Why would I buy these more expensive Bluetooth headphones? And now the AirPods are one of Apple's fastest selling products ever. And you not only see AirPods everywhere, you just see wireless earbuds in general everywhere. They have completely taken over the headphone market. So yes, it is easy to dismiss a new computer product at first, especially when you've never owned one before. But I believe over time, the people that were hesitant to maybe consider a Vision Pro over future iterations and future price drops, the same people that said, I don't need one, will be the ones raving about them the most. Perhaps another and more understandable complaint is that the Vision Pro doesn't have a killer app, or that all the apps on it right now already look like things you can already do on your iPhone, your iPad, and your Mac. Well, while I do think this complaint does hold the most weight for why people don't need one, I also think it's really hard to envision how you'll actually use this device or what impact it will have on you when it's so different than what we're using now. Like, you kind of need to experience using one. And I say this because I have seen something I have never seen in all my years covering Apple, and that is that anyone who has tried the Vision Pro walked away not only with good first hands-on impressions of the device, but they all seemed genuinely pretty blown away by how the tech worked and how they could envision themselves using this product.
This headset, as it looks at your eyes and keeps track of where your eyes move around, is the closest thing that I've experienced to like magic.
That praise was kind of universal, and I feel like that almost never happens with a tech product. I think this is not only because the tech in the headset is, impressive, we already listed the specs before, but because of the combination of hardware and software from Apple. Vision OS looks incredibly well thought out for a first-generation headset, with a simple grid of icons that looks like something we'd be very familiar with, something we'd be used to from something like our iPhone. But it's also a new intuitive user interface where instead of using a cursor or pointing at things with a controller, you just control things very naturally, like with the most natural input method ever, your eyes, and then selecting things with a pinch, and then not having to hold up your hand doing the pinch, right? So it's not uncomfortable, like the cameras point down so they can actually see you pinching even if your hand is by your lap. Then also being able to like manipulate items with one-to-one interactions like we would in the real world, as well as combine other methods of input like a mouse or keyboard, kind of make the Vision Pro user interface and control method perhaps the most intuitive one that Apple has ever designed. And it should be easy to pick up for new users. Most of all, I think this ease of use combined with really compelling features like 3D video, that actually sounds pretty impressive. The idea that you can kind of relive your memories through video, like you're almost back there in that moment. I really want that. But like when we watch videos of people using the Apple Vision Pro, it's kind of like we're just seeing like giant blown up iPad windows. Like I think once you actually start using this headset and get the experience of using it, it's going to be more profound and more revolutionary than we think it's going to be. Now, I think all of these complaints fail in comparison to the one complaint that I can actually really get behind, and that is that the Vision Pro is inconvenient. Listen, I am excited for the Vision Pro, if you couldn't tell, and I truly believe it is probably going to lead to Apple's next big product platform. But even I have to acknowledge that this is a clear first-generation product with some serious first-generation limitations. First of all, battery life. It's only 2 hours long. Yeah, 2 hours of battery life is insanely low for a modern mobile device. And let's say even the battery life was improved and you could wear this for 10 hours, it might not necessarily be comfortable enough to use all day long. The headset is big, and from many hands-on first impressions, apparently it's pretty heavy too. Even if you like the idea behind the Vision Pro, there's a chance that this device is not going to be comfortable to be wearing for hours on end. It will probably suffer a lot of the same pitfalls that current VR headsets have, where after a while your head kind of gets fatigued, your face gets sweaty, and things like the lenses on the headset start fogging up or getting dirty during use. There's a lot of little annoyances that could pop up when using this headset. Even if all those issues turn out to not be an issue on the headset, there's still that barrier that Apple has to get over for users to strap it onto their face. Like, it is so easy to pick up an iPhone or an iPad or even open up your MacBook. For better or worse, there's almost no thought behind it. You pick up your phone, you swipe up, and you're done. You can be on any app, you can be on the internet in seconds, right? With a headset, that's not going to be the case. You're gonna have to take the headset, I assume probably out of some sort of case. You're gonna have to strap the headset on. You're gonna have to adjust the strap with like knobs and stuff like that. And I know it sounds like very little first world problems, and they are, but having used VR headset devices in the past, that little setup makes these devices not as good for quick interactions. Quick interactions that we are all so used to with carrying out on our existing devices. The inconvenience of the general comfort of the headset and then it being a poor device for those quick interactions could actually be its Achilles heel. It doesn't matter how much technology is inside of the Apple Vision Pro. If it's a pain to use, you're not gonna wanna use it. And that might be why you hate Apple Vision Pro. But even so, for Apple to put this device out into the world, it must be a device they believe in. And when you look at their track record of devices they've released over the years and how successful they've been, I think you'd have to be pretty crazy to bet against Apple. Even if you hate the Apple Vision Pro right now, there's a good chance that within a few years, you'll be the next one preaching how great it is. All right, everyone, but let me know in the comments below because I'm really interested to hear your take on this. Do you hate the Apple Vision Pro or do you like it already? And do you plan on buying one as soon as possible? As always, I hope you liked the video. I hope it was educational and informative or thought-provoking. I don't know. If you liked the video, give me a like. If you want to subscribe to the channel, do that too. I don't know why, I don't know why you wouldn't. Thanks for the sub, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everyone.